Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this most auspicious of occasions. This is the crowning jewel, LVO 10. Throw up those X's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm lucky enough to be joined by the wonderful Dustin Henshaw for this impromptu Thursday show. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Live from Las Vegas, it's Thursday night!
That's the stuff. What are we looking at behind us, by the way? This is no green screen. This is literally the hall. I could throw a glass or...
Yeah, it looks like it's fake, but no, this is actually what the hall looks like from here. It is amazing.
This is it.
It is incredible. How many tables are out there?
A lot. Definitely somewhere more or less than 7.
More than 7, less than 1,000.
Less than 1,000, that's correct. And beyond those doors, legions, literal legions of nerds are piling up, waiting for their glorious check-in to get their con badges, their swag, their goodies. And if you aren't here, why not? In the proud words of Truckosaurus,
I feel
this is Kicker.
This is Kicker. How's it going, Kicker?
You want to say good day?
You want to say good day to everybody?
I'm just so happy to have you guys here.
Me too.
We're happy to be here.
We got Australia and Canada here. This is amazing.
Two corners of the world, right?
It literally does look like a green screen back here.
It does,
but I'm going to
actually.
show you that it's not, because I'm just frisbeeing
There you go,
out into the back.
Well, I want to do it too.
This is nice. Yeah, we'll go pick those up later. We'll break some terrain, break some beautiful FLG printed terrain.
Now you know it's true.
This is the Thursday show for the Las Vegas Open. This is the last event of the 2022 ITC season. We are so close to having 1,000 players here. We didn't quite make it. Of course, there's going to be some attrition tomorrow as well. But we are here to give you a half an hour, 45 minutes of grandeur to get you hyped for this weekend's coverage, this weekend's beautiful gaming experience. Are you as excited as I am?
I am so excited right now. I can't contain it. I've never actually been able to commentate or be a part of the production team for Las Vegas Open, and I'm so happy to be here. And this is the first time I actually get to meet Adam in person.
This is it.
Literally.
Yeah,
we talk every week, at least once, sometimes twice or 3 times, and finally get to meet in person. And we get to meet a lot of you in person here too. So if you're watching now, if you're in line to register, or if you just haven't said hi to us yet, come say hi, because we want to meet you.
We'd love to meet you. Don't ask me to sign anything, but please be all.
I've already signed a few things for Walker.
You ready? Kelsey brought him a Walker instruction booklet and said, "Sign this," and you should have seen his face. It was great. It was great. It should have been a fly on the wall. Unfortunately, Paul has not been able to join us. He has G-Dub duties. There is a magnificent G-Dub preview that's coming on literally in an hour and a half from now. We're going to be tearing down our beautiful set that we have for you guys. G-Dub will be coming on, giving you a magnificent preview. Please join in and support that. Also, what are we going to cover? What are we talking about? What are we doing?
I don't know. There's only like one event. It's not that huge. Just under 1,000.
Drop in the ocean.
Drop in the ocean when it comes to 40K events, but something called LVOX, something.
Yep. The Lonely Vase.
The Lonely Vase.
The Lonely Vase.
The Lonely Vase Open.
Yeah. I was thinking of something else for an O, but
I couldn't go any further.
Whatever. Let's just jump straight into this coverage, guys. You know what to expect from the Thursday show, and this will be no exception. We have the entire faction breakdown of the LVO. All, how many?
973.
Whoa. Just whoa.
We say that 973.
There are at least 27 people at home who could have been here. And it is your fault we don't have 1,000.
It could have been 1,000. LVOX could have been 1,000.
Where were you?
And you need to know that he looks through all these lists by hand. I watched him do it. It was actually painful to watch.
It was disgusting.
It was painful.
It was disgusting. If you came in here and listed yourself as Deathcore, you threw off my math so hard, and it took me so long to fix it up.
He cursed your name.
I did. I cursed you, and you're probably going to think that's some kind of distinction now, and you're going to double down. A pox on you all. But anyway, we're going to do this quick and dirty faction breakdown. Las Vegas Open from lovely Las Vegas, Nevada, somewhere in the USA. Obviously, it is London-ish adjacent.
London adjacent.
For your viewing pleasure. But this is 9 freaking rounds. This is a slobber knocker, guys.
With the shadow round.
With the shadow round, everyone plays 6 rounds. And should you be in the top, is it top 16 or top 12?
I think it's top
12.
Is it top 12?
Yeah, because the top four goes straight through to the finals, and then the next 8 players will play off in a knockout elimination shadow round that will happen directly after Game 6.
Yeah,
that is
obviously you can see the streams on the Frontline Gaming Network starting tomorrow.
Indeed.
All weekend.
And War Games Live. So we're only covering one table here on the magnificent Frontline Gaming stream on Twitch. And if you want to get the second table, if you're an absolute chat or chatette and you got a double screen going. Is that a word, chatette?
I
just invented it. If it's
not, a word now.
If it's not, it is now.
Camilleri approved.
Camilleri stamp of approval. One screen for us, one screen for Joe. Slap some bucks either way. Slap some subs either way. With some magnificent affiliate links for different bits and pieces. For every BCP subscription that occurs during the stream, we get a kickback.
Really?
And there's a bunch of other bits and pieces like that we'll be announcing as we go. So, thank you very much for joining us. We're about to jump into these quick and dirties. Dusty, take it away.
I will take it away. I can't hide that I'm looking at a laptop at this point now, so you're going to have to move it back to what I need to be.
Oh, yeah, true. I was reading comments.
Look at my Facebook here, you know? Okay. So, in this Imperial faction, we are looking at 43 Sisters of Battle, 45 Custodes, 6 Admech, 27 Astra Militarum, 23 Grey Knights, and 42 Imperial Knights. Space Marines is 20 Dark Angels, 18 Space Wolves, 40 Blood Angels, 10 Ultramarines, 11 Salamanders, 15 Black Templar, 2 Raven Guard, 1 White Scar, 4 Imperial Fist, 7 Iron Hands, and 5 Death Watch. Chaos Super Faction, there's 42,000 Suns, 35 Death Guard, 54 Demons, oh my god, HP, 36 Renegade Knights. This is not the time to update, Adam. Heretic Astartes Super Faction, there are 14 Black Legion, 24 Emperor's Children, 15 Creations of Vile, 4 Word Bears, 6 Iron Warriors, 2 Night Lords, and 8 World Eaters. Xenos, there's 36 Necrons, 34 Orcs, 62 Tau.
That's an oof, ladies and gentlemen. We call that an oof in the biz.
That's an oof. And then 58 Votan.
That's a double oof. That's a big old double down oof.
And then, of course, because this is Nephilim, Hive Mind Super Faction, there are 67 Tyranids.
And that is what we call a yikes.
That's a yikes. And then 17 G's to their cult. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, not bad. That's good numbers. That's respectable.
I'm happy with that.
Yep.
Aldari, there are 17 Drukhari, 27 Harlequins, 29 Asuriani, and 26 Yanari, making the faction podium totaling Heretic Astartes, actually topping it with 74. Tyranids in second with 67, no surprise there. Tau in third with 62. Votan pulling out fourth with 58, and then Demons with 54. Does that faction podium make sense to you? Since again, it is Nephilim, so
that is pretty much exactly what I thought would happen, with the absolute freaking exception of Votan coming out of left field, having really low to middling numbers, and essentially I think it literally took everyone this long to get their Votan armies ready.
Yeah, and I think Votan is one of those armies that, because even though this is Nephilim, they're going to be playing pretty similar in Arcs of Omen anyway. So I think this is one of those armies you can play now, and you'll still get value out of it afterwards without tweaking too much. So it's something that you're still going to learn stuff. I think it's something to bring right now.
Funny, so shout outs in chat. Nogal Matthew is literally here somewhere, and he's also in our chat, in both chats. He's in the YouTube and in the Twitch. Absolute legend. If you want to, there was a charity game by War Games Live with the wonderful Anthony Vanella and David Gaylard, all for the raising money. I can't believe it was for a veterans charity. I don't quite remember the name. They raised over $3,000. Go and check out that stream. Hilarious. If you donated $100, you got to mess with the game. Like, neither of them playing Orcs, but someone donated $100 and said, now they both get to WA.
Yeah,
as long as they WA.
That was incredible. That was incredible.
So go back and see that. We also have Haunted Bagel. Thank you very much. Sirius has asked if I'm going to be jumping in to even up the numbers. Mate, if I could play and commentate at the same time, you know I would.
He would.
I would.
I think he's tried it, actually.
100% I've tried it. It doesn't work. How do you feel about those faction numbers, mate?
The faction number makes a lot of sense, I think. Tyranids being really high is no surprise. They're ridiculously good at Nephilim, and it's going to be a bit of a farewell to, I think, in the high stakes meta.
Yep.
At least for a little while, until people figure out another build form if it exists, which it could. They still have a deep book.
So it's an interesting correlation. So we're looking at of course, the Tau and the Votan numbers being, predominantly shooting armies, making up a huge proportion of especially of the DACA metas. And we're seeing a juxtaposition between that and, I suppose, the Space Marine factions. There are some quite good Space Marine shooting lists out there. We've got Iron Hands, we've got Ultras, we've got Salamanders being some of the options, but it overwhelmingly has gone into favor of the Blood Angels.
Yeah.
So it's just like, if there's going to be bad terrain, at least I'll have speed. What do you think?
See, Blood Angels have durability with the Sanguinary Guard too, and a lot of the Blood Angels list, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of them are starting to take multiple Death Company squads now because they want those easy points, right? So now they actually have ways to get points easily with their secondaries and the Space Marine secondaries, and they'll still hit hard. And most of the terrain that's here, they can utilize it really well against the other armies that are here.
So one thing that you can't do is guarantee you can't be shot.
Yeah.
But one thing you can do is guarantee you have a staging area directly outside your deployment zone. And what do we love to see Blood Angels players do? They go first, and then the whole army goes deployment zone, staging area, and then it is really hard to dislodge enough of them to not get swamped in the preceding turns, right?
Yeah. Well, you got to think too, because Sanguinary Guards still have what's that thing that gives them more armor?
Armor Contempt.
Thank you.
Wow, that didn't take long to leave your mind, did it?
It was so gone. The
Control
moment
F straight
Control
out of
F
your
done. That's
brain.
it. Control delete that stuff, man. I don't want to hear it anymore. But are you talking about Armor Contempt with Vanguard in cover? That's hard to shift.
Yeah, absolutely right. Interesting numbers here with looking at the Chaos Super faction. The T-Suns numbers, I actually expected to be more. We've got 42. I expected them to make the top 5 factions going in.
Do you know how many, or how much you guess of how many have actually had the Flamers in their list?
Well, so I have went through and I've categorized. There's a bunch of people list themselves as Chaos, a bunch of people list themselves as Zinch, and I looked through all of those and amalgamated all the ones that had T-Suns Flamers into the T-Suns number. So that is the absolute maximum number. Maybe give or take 1 or 2 that I maybe have missed.
Right.
So 42 is very close to the total number of T-Suns players out of over 900. So it is less than I thought. I was very surprised they didn't make it to 50.
I'm actually not surprised. I think that's the number I was expecting for T-Suns, just because there's a lot of players that are playing them right now, but there's a lot of people that haven't got enough reps with them to feel comfortable enough with it. While Flamers are good, the rest of the army takes a lot of practice, I think, to do well.
It's true. It is not an easy thing. Like essentially the Flamers were the things that made it have a linear play pattern, because before then it was like this weird kind of mid-range keep away army, and it didn't function that well. The demon numbers are very, very interesting. 54 is
demon numbers are high.
Is a lot. I know a couple of my boys, a couple of the Aussies. Best player in Australia in ITC this season, Matt Morosoli's in attendance. Best player in New Zealand this season as well, Finn Decker, is in attendance. They're both playing the same list. They're essentially the down under version of Vic Vijay and David Gaylord. It is hilarious.
So they're doing the demon side instead of Thousand Sun side. That's
Correct.
actually an interesting dichotomy there.
They think they have the nuts. My boys think if they run into David or Vic that they'll get him. That is very interesting. They're very confident.
Hopefully we get one of those. We'll put it on stream. That would be a great one to put on stream.
Anytime Morosoli's playing against a top player, I want to get that on here. That'd be fantastic. Some other interesting ones. Looking at essentially the Heretic Astartes super faction. What are you seeing here? Anything surprising?
Black Legion's actually making a pretty big appearance here.
It really is, man.
It's good and it's better in Arcs of Omen, so maybe people are getting ready for Arcs of Omen.
Future-proofing. It could definitely be a thing.
Maybe.
Yeah, trying to ride the wave.
Emperor's Children, leading it up, that doesn't surprise me at all. Priests of Bile being the second, that doesn't surprise me at all either. 8 World Eaters, though.
Yes. The Madmen are out in force.
They're just they're ready for this new codex. Maybe they're getting their last straw. This is going to be my World Eaters now, and then in a couple weeks, a month, 2 months, I'm going to be crushing all you people.
Dude,
they're getting ready.
It's going to be a thing.
If they can win now, you're in trouble.
Absolutely right. So it's really one of the things that really surprised me was the really even spread in the Eldari super faction. Ynnari, Harlequins, and Asuryani essentially all having the same numbers.
Yeah.
All being 26 and 29. Harlequin numbers a bit higher than I thought. Ynnari numbers higher than I thought. Asuryani numbers are lower than I thought. So I think that's a robbing Peter to pay Paul kind of equation, right?
Really?
Well, I would have thought Asuryani could very well be around the 40 mark.
There's just a lot of Asuryani players, you think?
Yeah, I think there is, but I think they all play all the factions, like I said. A bunch of the Asuryani players are definitely translated into Ynnari.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You don't want to just be a shooting army. You don't want to just be a melee army in this terrain. You want to be able to go, okay, I'm playing Tau. Let's circle the wagons, play a place terrain, get as much defense as I can. And then when you play against stuff like Votan, you got to go close that distance. You got to get out there and on top of them.
Yeah, Ynnari's actually really good for that too. The Ynnari numbers were actually a little higher than I expected them to be. I knew people were trying out with it, but whenever we saw the breakdown for any other big tournament, it's usually 1 or 2 players playing Ynnari, while the rest of them doing Asuryani, Harlequins, and because Harlequins are still. I'm not going to say they're prime because they're still, double, triple nerf they are right now. But they're still really probably the top tier of the Eldari overall, in this meta.
Yeah, but either them or Harlequins, it really is interesting to see how we always talk about this. There's a joke in Art of War that's become pretty prevalent. There's new Harlequin players and there's good Harlequin players because if that playstyle doesn't gel with you, you don't stick with the army. And especially if you don't enjoy playing an army that has 4 different models in it.
Yeah,
four data sheets.
That's always a downside. It is because you feel like, okay, this list doesn't work. It's hard to change it.
What do you do? What are the iterations? Where do you go? And that has always been a bit of a downer. We're going to talk about Knights next. So one of the biggest memes of LVO is that the Knight players come out in force because so many people want to come here, kick back, enjoy Vegas, play short, stress-free games, and Knights is the Unga Bunga, slap it down. If you go first, good. You go second, sometimes very bad, but you're always done quickly, and usually it's not too unenjoyable. Yeah. If it is, it's quick.
Yeah, if it is, you don't suffer long.
So we got 42 Imperial Knights and then 36 Renegade Knights. What does that add up to? That adds up to 78. 78.
My math is amazing.
I'm the jet lagged one, people. He's got no excuse.
I have issues.
Some more shout outs in chat. What is it? Jungle Gym?
Juno's Jungle Gym.
Faith Beyond 77. Thank you. Disflux, thank you so much. Andrew Leonard, thank you very much for joining us, guys. But yeah, what do you make of the Knight numbers? Anything in there catch you by surprise?
No, not really. I think this is pretty average numbers for what we see at LVO. Like, it's higher than we would see at most events, but it's high enough that we're expecting to see this at LVO. Like you said, it's the enjoy LVO list. There's going to be a couple of guys in here that are definitely here to do well, and they will. But the majority of the night players are here because easy to transport and easy to play. Like, quickly, you don't have to stress about it. Go get a drink, go back to your table. Have fun, roll some dice.
There's one champion, okay? In an event like this, like an Uprising, like a Nottingham, like a multiple 100-player super major, anytime I see one player for a faction, I want to shout it out. Whoever the White Scars player is, there is one single White Scars player, the only single person faction in attendance, if my stats are correct. You play against that guy, you know who that guy is. This is a shout out just for you. You're a Chad. Congratulations, you're the one. The one. And hopefully, I might get you on stream. We might get him on stream.
Hey,
just because he's the one.
You know what?
And then he loses on stream. We're like, never mind.
If you're the only White Scar player here, I mean, Best of Faction is pretty much.
It's pretty much locked in.
It's pretty much locked in, isn't it? I don't think there's much competition.
There's no ifs, no buts. All right, we're going to jump down and talk about some of the top players in attendance. We'll do this pretty quickly because if you've been watching our show over the past probably 2 months, you've seen most of these lists at nauseum. But the first of these, I'm going to give it to Dusty. We're going to flip and flop. We're going to take some turns.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So who's this first guy?
This is some guy named Vic Vijay. I think he's doing pretty well. First in ITC.
Yeah, number one in the world. It looks like he's doing all right.
Not doing too bad. This is the list, or at least I think it's almost the same list he's been bringing for almost.
I think they've made a few little
differences.
Notably being the Fade Skimmer when you get to it, which I think was Fade Skimmer is actually the Chariot guy, and they had the guy on disc, or it's the other way around.
The other way around. Fade Skimmer.
Okay, take it away.
Battalion Vanguard. The battalion has Ahriman, Exalted Sorcerer, Infernal Master, 6x5 Rubrics with 4 with the
Soul
Reapers and 2 with Flamers, and 10 men. Scarab Squad, these are fully kitted. That was one of the changes they made last iteration, I remember, too, because it used to be decked just empty.
They've both played with 8-mans with no gear, 8-mans with a little bit of kit, and then 10-mans no gear, 10-mans with full kit. So it's been a lot of iterating to get to this point.
Definitely, for sure. Vanguard just has Fate Skimmer, and then 5, and 3 Flamers.
It is very good.
Yeah, it's a good list, and they're very comfortable with it. They've played it a lot of events, practice lists. Like it's honed.
It is tuned. These boys have been playing this list at nauseam, probably for the last about 2 or 3 months, 2.5 months, possibly 3 months.
I think 3 months.
And it's the core of it stayed pretty much the same. The 6x5 rubrics, the 3 characters, and the 3 units of flamers. Even the 553. I think they started 555, or was it 655? And they've just been
it was 555, 663. There's all kinds of different iterations of it. So
I do love the 3-man. I think the 3-man's really important. Yeah. The 3-man makes sure that the 5-mans get to the good stuff. But yeah, this is an extremely good list. They're going to go deep. The only worry I have for him, and of course David Gaylard, when we would be covering him as the 4th ranked player in the ITC, is playing the exact same list, so we're not going to be covering him. But there's point for point exactly the same. The only reason I worry about them is that they have taken the same list for quite some time, and there is, at LVO especially, if you have waved that flag as this is what I'm playing, well out from the event, some of the other top dogs may have answers for you. Do you think this is a worry for this list?
I would be for some of the other top dogs. Specifically, there are a couple lists that I think they'd be worried about, a couple of lists with players. I think like Tyrant with John Lennon is actually going to be one of those lists. That's a threat to this build, because while these guys are going to be practicing against Tyranids and they're going to have their reps too, so is John, so are the other players too.
Yeah,
there's a couple really good ones in attendance. We got Innes Wilson as well.
Alex McDougall, who was a giant slayer last year, absolute behemoth of a guy.
And that's a list again that they can contend with the Thousand Suns. So
absolutely,
that'd be a good one to see. All
right, jumping down to the next top player in attendance. This is Jack Hopster, who's ranked 2nd in the ITC in the world. He's been jumping around a lot this year. He has won super majors with Necron, super majors with other things. I can't remember which one. He bungered onto another Harlequins. That was it. And so he's just played a lot of different stuff, but he's come back home to the Blood Angels for the finale. He's got a battalion, Dante, Lamartis, and a Sanguinary Priest. 3x5 Infiltrators, 3x7 Sanguinary Guard, 3x5 Death Company. This is what you were talking about, opening up that more secondary play, the more options, the more things to do. This one unit of this Death Company has all the power, has all the Thunderhammers for the threat of just sending it turn 1 and killing your best unit. This 10 Scarecrow Terminators would be a huge loss in that matchup should that happen. The other 2 have Inferno Pistols and a couple of Power Fists, is what I remember. And then lastly, he spent 2 of his CP to take an auxiliary detachment, to take a Sanguinary Ancient, to not leave it at home. very impressive list, a very impressive guy, and a very impressive list. One of the things I'll notice is that I know for a fact he has taken the 5 up against mortal wounds aura off his chappie. I can't remember if it's the Sang Priest or the Sang Ancient. Oh no, it's Lamades. Lamades chappie. So he's got the 5 up against mortal wounds, and then I believe his intent is to, against the T-Suns matchup.
Yeah, it's almost like he thinks there's gonna be a lot of T-Suns.
It's almost like he was ready. So this is what we're
Remember what we're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
People attacking for it.
Little pieces here and there to
How
make
about
to get closer to that matchup.
The odd time we get it right.
Yeah. What do you think about this list, brother?
I think that list is actually really well designed for the meta right now because he knows at least 2 or 3 of the top players coming here are bringing that list that he's going to need that into, and then the other top players like the Tyrant ones we were just talking about, they also put a lot of mortal wounds.
Correct.
Look at that. He's got an answer for it.
What a world. Oh, you have to walk through spawn mines? Might as well have 5 up.
I guess
Might as
that's
well
5
have 5
up.
up. Yeah, exactly right.
But I mean, he doesn't care.
He doesn't care. Yeah. And look, I really love the Death Company numbers.
Yeah.
I like the 2 units kind of playing a little bit more backfield. Also, why do you think he's taking some Inferno Pistols? Because we had Liam Hackett submit a list for an event, and he was unable to come, but he had stacked the Inferno Pistols on his army.
I don't know.
What do you think? Yeah. It's the wound gated models. Blood Angels really struggle with the wound gated models, the Bloodthirsters, the Abaddons.
They need some shooting.
They need to be able to 2-turn instead of 3-turning. If they have to 3-turn an Abaddon, that Abaddon is going to annihilate 3 units to do it. So they need to be able to 2-turn the Bloodthirsters, 2-turn the Abaddons. So that's why they're in there.
Isn't Dante the Psyker?
No, Dante's the Chapter Master.
Right, Chapter Master.
Yeah. You're thinking Mephi.
Mephi.
Anyway, jumping down to the next one is Mike Porter. You want to take this one away, brother?
Sure, we are looking at Harlequins and Light Scythe, of course, because Light's just the way to go right now. Battalion Patrol, a Shadow Seer Troop Master, 6x5 troops, all with 2 fusion, 2 neuro, and 4 weapons.
Yeah, 4 kisses, caresses, whatever.
It's like a variation of whatever. 2 Death Jesters, Solitaire, and 6 Star Weavers. And the Patrol has a Troop Master, 2x5 troops, same as above, and another Star Weaver. Now, the 2 Death Jesters, I'm assuming, have the standard one mortal wound one and the turn off Overwatch.
The 2 goody ones.
The 2 good ones.
Yeah, that's it.
I would assume the 2 Death Jesters would be the 2 good ones, but I mean, I could be wrong.
So this is another UK player who has seen enormous success with a list that is performing extremely well. He essentially has not played a different list in the last 6 months. All of Nephilim, this has been Mike Porter's list. He won Nottingham 2 weeks ago with this list. He came number 1, above David, who's in attendance here, and above Vic, above Inez, above a bunch of great players. So Mike Porter is one of my picks to make the top 8. Absolutely make the top 8. I 100% think.
I think you did say that on the podcast too.
Yeah.
We went over that. Yeah, that's fair.
Harlequins are just so hard to tech for that a lot of people don't bother because there's so few players. There's so few people that are going to be taking them.
It's true. The only thing I say about Harlequins right now, though, is that T-Suns are hard for them. T-Suns are rough for Harlequins.
Well, if he has been winning in the UK TC with this list, he's got to have a plan.
He's got to have a plan.
If he doesn't, he's true. Of course, the Death Jester turning off Overwatch, so you can charge Flamers. Is an absolute must, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolute must. Another phenomenal list. We're going to jump down, keep going. David Gaylard is up next, but we already covered this list that he is taking. Thank you, Vic. I do feel bad for David because Vic has been like one rung above his, and so every single week that Vic is on, David's usually on, and we never talk about what he's taking. I usually meme on him. When I should have switched it up at least once.
You should have switched it up. But David, I feel for you. I know your pain. Trust me. I'm sorry, man. We'll get you first next time.
Yeah, we'll get you. I promise. And then, lastly, we're going to cover John freaking Lennon, who is ranked 5th in the world. He's playing Tyranids, High Fleet Kraken. Dustin, this is yours. Tell me about it.
Of course. Double Patrol for Flyrant, Neurothrope, 10 Gargoyles, 3 Venom Thropes, 2x3 Zone Thropes, 3 Tyrant Guard, 5 and 4 Raveners, 3 Biovores, and then another Flyrant, 3 Warriors, 3 Tyrant Guard, and a Spore Assist. This is the pinnacle Kraken list.
This is the near-perfected Kraken list.
Near-perfected Kraken list.
Alex McDougall is playing point for point exactly the same thing. Innes Wilson is playing a slight variant of this. He doesn't have the Spore Assist, but he has more Zone Thropes. He's gone more into the Mortal Wounds. Yeah. And then Jaime Pattis is playing something a variant of this as well. He's Kraken, but he's got 2 Harpies. He's stuck with the Harpies.
Oh, he's stuck with the Harpies.
Yeah. So there's a couple of.
I didn't know he was playing Tyranids.
There's a core 1,200 to 1,500 points of this that are like little 4 top players are taking.
Oh, for sure.
Double Flyrant. This seems to be the new tech here. Tell us about that.
Well, the Double Flyrant is just they want better melee threats that are faster too. This is Kraken, so it's all about speed and close combat, right? I almost said it. The Tyrant that people used to take.
We're almost broken. We're almost.
It's because of Kelsey. I had to sign that stupid. Anyway, so the Tyrant normally is equipped with the Venom Cannon for a bit of long range shooting. which I don't feel is worth it.
They're not going to win the shooting match against the shooting armies anyway. It's not enough to close that gap.
It's 3 shots. Like, it's not going to do enough damage to really make a difference. However, a Flyrant with close combat like Maw Claws is what the second one will usually be. I'm assuming they're all going to have the Maw Claws. The first one obviously has the Reaper still.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so the Maw Claws will be the one that the second one's equipped with. So it still slaps in close combat. It will pick up a lot more than the Tyrant would normally in shooting. The only downside of it, again, is because there's 2 Flyrants overrunning them.
Yes.
You can't do it with both, right? But then you have 2 of them.
Exactly.
So you can kind of keep one in there if you really need to at one point, or if you fail to kill something. You're not as committed and over-committing if you suddenly lose one or fail a power, which happens.
Absolutely. I'd also like to point out, after having talked to John about his list, the double Flyrants need double Tyrant Guard, but not for the reason you think. The reason is because of Tau. Because what would happen if you had 1 unit of 3 Tyrant Guard is the Sunsharks would come over. And they would Alpha Strike your Tyrant Guard, and then Long Strike goes, hey, you had a Flyrant, sorry, you don't have a Flyrant. And so the 2 units is the redundancy they need. And then they came to the decision that if I was going to take 2, might as well take 2 Hive Tyrants, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're going to take 2 units of Tyrant Guard, well, might as well get the full return. And then in other games, you can have 2 bubbles of influence.
And that's the big thing, because when you have 2 bubbles of influence, you have 2 Flyrants, you have 2 long-range threats that can go whenever and wherever you need them to go.
Exactly right. But that is the coverage of the event we're going to do. We're going to be out here in 8 minutes. We do have a Fuego for your viewing pleasure. But let's pick a winner. It's so hard to pick a freaking winner. Feel free to pick a couple of factions that'll make the top 8 if you can't pick a winner.
Yeah, actually, let's do the top 8. I think that's a good way to do it. Because I think...
I've already called it for 1 Harlequin.
Yep.
Do you agree or disagree with that pick?
I would definitely agree with 1 Harlequin.
All right.
For sure.
Oh, yeah, give us a faction.
T-Suns.
Naturally. Yeah, perfect.
I would say 2 T-Suns, actually.
I was going to say either 2 T-Suns or 2 Kraken Nids will make it.
Yeah, so it's either one of one and 2 of the other.
Yeah, spot 100%. On. 100% a Tau. In fact, there are so many strong Tau players here that they're just going to go first in the games they need to go first. Or on a table that they needed to go first on. There are some extremely competitively tailored tables here, and then there are some, down the back end that ain't so good, because it's very hard to have 900 tables of preview table. It's a hell of a lot of terrain. So there is the propensity for a Tau player to just get it cherry freaking ripe and table the good players because they go first.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm definitely calling it for Tau. So we got a sliding scale of either 2 of Kraken or T-Suns. We have a Harlequin and we have a Tau. So we're up to 5 so far. We'll count it as 5. So give us another. Throw them up in the chat as well.
Yeah, throw them up in the chat. We want to see what you guys think too. I think there will be at least 1 Blood Angel.
Ooh, I like that pick. There's 40 Blood Angel players.
I think there should be.
That's not a bad pick.
And I know 3 of them that are really good, for sure.
Yeah.
The rest of them, I'm sure you are good. So this is. That's such a
dude,
good army right
this
now.
is wild because literally we could say Necrons as well. Necron's just, cool, you went first, 6 games, probably winning. Same thing we said for Emperor's Children as well. The good one will be thrown out in chat by Snailpot. So yeah, look, CSM could be there as well.
Absolutely.
I am so happy we're doing Nephilim, by the way. So happy. Because this is what Nephilim has given us. Nephilim has given us a beautiful spread. We don't know if Arcs of Omens will do the same, but what we know for sure is that Nephilim will give us a good spread.
I'm going to make a bold call for the last one. And you should do the same. A bold call. I'm going to say there's going to be an Orc.
I love it. Thank you. High 5. I agree. Orc, LVO tradition must be maintained.
Absolutely.
You know who you are, Ben Jurek.
You know who you are.
Up your game, Ben. Get in there. At least Shadow Round. Minimum Shadow Round. Minimum. That is a pass for the Orc players. Yeah. We do have a couple of Fuegos, which we're going to read out very quickly because we need to be done in 5 minutes. But these Fuegos are pretty easy. We're just going to read them out, give us our gut check answers. Another good call, Votan. There's 58 Votan. So the same thing for the Tau.
Yep.
If they just go first in the right games, the right matchups.
Either Tau or Votan. I think. Not both, but one or the other for sure.
Yinari. We have a please be Yinari. I can't pronounce your Frost-style mug. Yeah, Frost-style mug. I would love for Yinari to make it. I would love it. One great way of combating bad terrain is a Webway Portal.
Absolutely.
Webway Portal just gives you that leg up. All right. Fuego. Let's go. Fuego.
How many times have we done this?
Shush. As episode 79. What is the best movie that is based in Las Vegas?
Vegas Vacation.
The correct answer is in fact Casino.
Casino's pretty good.
Body Racers in chat, throw them up. Any others that you'd mention?
There's so many good ones that take place in Vegas too. I can't. No. It's that Johnny Depp one. Why can't?
Huh?
That Johnny Depp one.
Fear and Loathing?
Fear and Loathing, that's it.
That is another
Thank
great
you.
choice. Very
Fear and
good
Loathing.
choice. That is equal. Godfather 2, another good one as well.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
about half that movie is in Vegas. That's fair.
Okay.
And someone has said Tau. Tau did happen in Vegas also.
Town
Moving on.
happened in Vegas, but no, that's not.
What 40k location is the best setting for a heist?
Oh, that's easy. The Black Library.
Absolutely. Case closed. Moving on.
Solved.
Yeah. What Warhammer character is best suited for the Vegas lifestyle?
You got this one. You know this one.
Vect. Fabius Bile is up there.
Fabius Biles up there. Yeah. He's the guy that knows that happened.
Absolutely. Next one. What is your favorite buffet food?
King Crab.
Oof. Oh, okay.
Beat that.
I'm not sure I can. I'm actually not
If
sure
you
I
can
can.
get king crab at a buffet,
You've made
you
it.
gorge.
That's the pinnacle.
You
right
gorge.
there. Fulgrim also a good one for Vegas lifestyle.
Fulgrim,
Actually,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Vegas
Fulgrim,
just living in a
okay.
penthouse, just being a bit of a douche. I like it. I did have a pile of quail, like a big pile of quail at Caesar's buffet about 3 years ago.
Quail?
Which was very good, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very good. But king crab cannot top. Crab is the most economical. Garlic bread is the best. Okay, yeah, that's true.
That's fair.
That's true. Last one for this LVO beautiful Thursday show. Who is winning the 2022 ITC season? It's not necessarily winning the LVO. Who's winning the ITC season?
I have to go with Vic.
I have to say Vic as well. He is so far ahead. If Vic makes the top 8, it's almost
pretty much
already done.
locked in.
He doesn't need to win it; just makes it. If Vic goes 5-1, technically he can still win it,
Yeah.
depending on who makes the top 8 above him.
And him going 4-2.
I think he's cooked. If he goes 4-2,
He's cooked at that point.
any of the other boys in the top 5,
It'd be surprising.
it would be very surprising. Yeah. If any of the other boys went top 8 and he went 4-2, they'd jump him, and then it'd be up for grabs. But yeah, that is gonna sign us off for this wonderful LVO special. Hopefully you've enjoyed the wonderful viewing experience. Off to the left of camera on your side of things is the Vanguard Tactics seminar that is taking place. Don't know if we got a shot of that, but that's back there as well. I've got Simon. I've got well, you know him as Val. I've got Nikki D, Kelsey T.O. I've got John over there. It is just an awesome crew. Thank you so much for supporting us. Please join us tomorrow and then rolling throughout the whole 3 days of this Slobber Knocker of an event with some magnificent streaming goodness.
It is going to be amazing, guys. Tune in for it. We're going to be here the whole time with this incredible production team, the incredible players that are here. Tune in for this event. You don't want to miss it.
Do not want to miss it. This is going to be possibly one of the most hotly contested LVOs of all time.
Oh, yeah.
And ITC seasons. Thank you so much, guys. Reiterating, what stream will Adam be on tomorrow? I will be on this one. You just tune into this one. It'll be running essentially starting from the start of round 1. If the machine spirits are willing, we are anointing them with oils as we speak.
This is a test run right
This
now.
is it. Legit, we are doing this as a test run. And if this works well, hopefully things will tomorrow as well. So join us there, join us then. Mwah. Good night. Peace. Let's see you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Phenomenum.
Banana.
Phenomenum. Phenomenum. Phenomenum.